Live from the Meta, it's Saturday night, March 22nd, 2025. We're giving you a huge high five, going over the biggest and boldest stories in entertainment and pop celebrity culture. First, we heard about Shohei Ohtani having so much support in Japan that they know him as the man, and being there for the baseball, having to come back in 2025 was such a surprise happiness for all of the Japanese fans and Chinese fans and South Korea and North Korea fans that saw Shohei Ohtani, known as the Japanese Babe Ruth before he left to come play for the California teams in baseball. But his success, his notoriety has grown bigger, bolder, and better than before. He was back this past week, leaving from Arizona where they were doing U.S. spring training, flying all the way to Japan. And oh man, what a big, exciting trip. Now, what else in pop news? Taylor Swift had a big start to the year with Travis Kelce to have her main man boyfriend in the Super Bowl. It was a huge thing, but she went there just like an average Joe, but not an average Joe Biden, an average Donald Trump, because Trump is now in the White House. In fact, his daughter-in-law is now dating Tiger Woods. And if you want to check out the Tiger Trump Woods art made with Kai Trump on SaatchiArt.com, that's SaatchiArt.com. Under Blake LeVine, you can see just a few weeks ago there was a foot art I made based on a top golfer that I had stationery from. It's so beautiful, brilliant, and bold. Check it out. Now, the top news, we have Shohei Ohtani in Japan with the rest of the Dodgers and many baseball stars. We also have Taylor Swift in a huge story. Now, it's funny because Taylor and Donald Trump had some beef earlier, but it seems like it's more copacetic. Trump was at the Super Bowl, and there was no fights. People worried Taylor and Donald would maybe duke it out. Their families would be going wild, but that's more in wrestling, not really in entertainment. But Taylor went out to dinner out there in Mardi Gras country in New Orleans, and I was thinking about my friend Dr. John in New Orleans and going to do a big talk in Metairie, and then going several times to Mardi Gras where my wife went in college with her friends, and it's beautiful, it's bold. That's the Super Bowl. We also had Trump at the NASCAR. Man, this president likes to go. This week he was just at another big sporting event, and everybody's so excited that his daughter-in-law is dating Tiger Woods, because the idea of Tiger Woods and his daughter-in-law, how much money they could have as a power couple. You think of Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, Shohei Ohtani, they're in that league. So his daughter, Kai Trump, may not have to worry for the holidays. She'll get gifts. She may not have to worry about paying her rent. Her mom may be A-okay. God bless America. Now, we're talking about Taylor Swift. I just saw on TikTok. They're so great. The amount of news from China, the U.S., and TikTok is from ByteDance. I did a video earlier this week about Musical.ly. And TikTok, I was able to watch Taylor Swift. She's skiing with her boyfriend. They said Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes, or Pat Mahomes, is now having to play golf for fun today, and then they're actually out at a ski resort. And there's stories that Taylor Swift took pictures of Travis Kelce skiing. Now, the thing about things with news, there's been so much fake news and AI news, you never know for sure, but they were worried for a few weeks Taylor was going into hiding. I even saw this Christmas tree song she has. She's hiding under a sort of area in the snow, and it's been cold, but we know she's not doing that. Now she's back out skiing. But you know, for a top star to go to the Grammys out in LA and then to go to the Super Bowl. Now, here's the thing in the Super Bowl, like when Trump was there, it's an exciting appearance, but when Taylor Swift is having her boyfriend as one of the main players, it's even bigger, it's even stronger, more supportive, and actually a top thing. So as a joke, when she made a funny face with Ice Spice, it showed that she was sort of goofing on the whole thing, like how big can it be? I think about Michael Jackson sitting there, or Whitney Houston, or Frank Sinatra. You know, Frank Sinatra for so long lived normally when he was a superstar, but he had been doing it since he was a kid, and it's a different time. So anyway, we're wishing everybody wonderfully well. We're getting ready for Art Basel Hong Kong. We've been doing some incredible art. We've done all this Shohei Ohtani art. I'll just tell you, some of the things was connecting people. And I think about the dream. People are so excited with sports cards. I have some items in auction at Golden. Golden got over $3, $4, $5 million for top items, including the 50-50 Shohei Ohtani ball. I have some items coming up out there in a few months, and I'm excited because I put together in my art. I've been doing great art based on rap therapy and incredible books. And the first book on the psychology of adult coloring, we're trying to sell it. We have the top agent who did Forrest Gump's translation, has done many of the top translations in history. In fact, I'll tell you something cool. Years ago, they didn't pay for translation. At some point, years back, they allow American books from American authors to get royalties into Chinese, and that's just awesome. So we have the top one. We're going to know by the end of the year what the amount is, and my book is published. Check this out. They have so many top people like John Lennon's son, Julian Lennon doing children. They also have Melania Trump. Donald Trump's wife is on the big publisher that I'm on. That's interesting because years back they would give $5 million, $20 million, $35 million. The contract for the female Republican First Lady was so much money. So these days it's a little different, but there's still big royalties. I'm sure that book is going to get translated. At Art Basel Hong Kong, we're looking at having Art Basel in Switzerland in June, many months later out in Miami, where the big one is, and now in Hong Kong, where how much is Chinese and Asian culture investing in art that's giving Sotheby's and Christie's and many of the auctions and sales the top prices. So we're celebrating all this. It's March 22nd, 2025. We're saying live from the Meta. This is YouTube with Blake LeVine. We're giving you all a huge high five, happiness, wealth, and check out SaatchiArt.com. That's run by Charles Saatchi. If you're in Europe, go see the Charles Saatchi Gallery. But if you want to see upcoming and emerging artists, go to SaatchiArt.com, SaatchiArt.com, and look for Blake LeVine. Now, I have to take a sad note in a good way. So I talked about putting people together, and we have art with Babe Ruth I made with Shohei Ohtani and Babe Ruth. I added to it incredible stuff like Lou Gehrig, hoping he was healthy forever. We have Lou Gehrig, Shohei Ohtani, Babe Ruth, Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle, and many more. We put them together, and I thought of who would be creative because people are collecting. I did Shoeless Joe Jackson. I saw Kevin Costner, and in Field of Dreams, Ray Liotta played Shoeless Joe Jackson in the movie 8 Men Out. They talked about Shoeless Joe, and his autographs are so rare. Plus T206 Honus Wagner. Golden's got such top prices as the other. So I did Honus Wagner, Shoeless Joe Jackson, Babe Ruth, Shohei Ohtani, Joe DiMaggio, Joltin Joe DiMaggio. These days, Joltin Joe DiMaggio seems to come to mind after solar storms, as well as Mickey Mantle. And these are great art. Lou Gehrig. Check them out on SaatchiArt.com. We got some on sale at different times on Facebook Marketplace, but you can buy in China on Saatchi Art or anywhere. We're wishing you guys a great rest of the March into April. It's also sports season here in the U.S. They're doing for colleges March Madness, and we're so excited they're going to have in April the beginning of this big game. Finally gets to the basketball final, so there's so much exciting, big, bold, beautiful news. We got Coachella out here in California. I got my family house just a block away, and we've had so many fun years. We're going to do again this year. We already got some parties if you want. Check out Blake LeVine Eventbrite. Now, if you're in the future, because this could be in 35 years, you may end up not getting access, but you can check out Saatchi Art. You can check out my books on Amazon. They should be there for 100 years. Do Blake LeVine and my startup, BipolaRonline.com. Even if we've sold by the time you listen, we love you, we support you, and we wish you wonderfully well. Oh, and on that sad note, it was George Foreman. I remember as a boy talking and learning about sports history and going to a big heavyweight fight at Atlantic City. Donald Trump was running hotels, and they had the Rumble in the Jungle. They would talk about Muhammad Ali, who was great, known as Cassius Clay. In sports, when Muhammad Ali used his other name, Cassius Clay, they were so rare. So the earlier 70s had George Foreman and the Rumble in the Jungle. And Muhammad Ali was talking so fast and excited with energy that he said it went from 5,000 people at a heavyweight fight to millions, to bars and theaters all over simulcast. And he said, I sing like a... You should check it out. If you already know, you'll hear what I'm saying. He said, I'd sing like a bee. And when he talks about that, he would move so fast. His mind, his boxing, his energy. And because of that, it made it super exciting. And George Foreman said he got robbed. He said he had the robin in the jungle because I watched an interview last night learning about his passing. And he was sad. He also boxed Joe Frazier. So I put together, in honor of George Foreman, he died yesterday, March 21st, 2025, a nice older man. He became a preacher. He also has the #1 grill of any boxer in history. When I was younger, the George Foreman grill, we used to cook in Manhattan. You couldn't have flames or fires or things in apartments from smoke. The Foreman grill would never easily over smoke and ruin apartments. So you could do it in schools, work, travel. I had great grills, and that's Foreman making so much money. He came back in his mid-40s to become heavyweight champion again and do so much to build his revenue, to build his rights, and to be ready to be remembered for the Rumble in the Jungle, for his fights with Joe Frazier, and of course with Muhammad Ali, for being a dad to so many people, to being a preacher, and dying with the grace and dignity that Jesus would give to you or anyone. And in sports, even if you aren't that religion, you support how George Foreman had a great way to hold himself, a great sound, a great energy. And I think that's a lot from his preaching. So in his honor, we made art. Listen to this. We did some that say Rumble in the Jungle. We wrote some art about Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay, Joe Frazier. And then we had it again. Genius ideas people would be desperate for. all in one piece. And since you can't find it, we made it in art. We have Pancho Villa. Pancho Villa is such an early great boxer. We have, oh my God, the Galveston Giant. These are the rarest collectibles. So we have these all in one art. Muhammad Ali, cash display, like we said, Joe Frazier, and of course, George Foreman. And we did some others. Jack Dempsey. Man, Jack Dempsey is such a legend. And we did Joe Louis. If you think about boxing, there's so many Joes and things, but Joe Louis. And there was no boxer, Donald, that I knew of at the top. But you have Joe Louis and Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay. Man, taking a moment just to remember both Muhammad Ali, who I met many times. And I have to say, Muhammad Ali struggled with Parkinson's, but he was loving. I remember one time he was at a show and get signed, but some people wait for him at his hotel, and his team said, "Get away, you won't sign." He said, "No," he couldn't even talk, but he pushed them away, and he came forward to be a friend, to be a signer, and to be a hero that I remember as a boy, treating me with warmth. I've treated other people sick with diseases as they shook or were crazily unable to hold themselves with grace. Give them a hug and a high five and say, "You're a hero." And George Foreman, again, a nice person. And I wish I did get to meet people like Jack Dempsey. I also did Max Schmeling. I thought about him. And check out the art, SaatchiArt.com. That's SAATCHIART.com. Blake LeVine. And we wish for Art Basel Hong Kong 2025 is starting in less than a week. Get there to Hong Kong. If you live in other parts of China, from Shenzhen, or even if you're in Japan, remember, and you can find the galleries on artbasel.com. So order the pieces you want wherever you are. If you're a high net worth consumer, I went 1 year to Art Basel. I met some of the richest, most famous people in the world at the Top Hotel. I'm going to go watch that video. There's actually a fun video by Zan Melnick from One Direction. And I wish you guys a great time. Enjoy Art Basel Hong Kong. Enjoy all the good stuff. I was watching George Clooney out on Broadway. This is a great time. And Shohei Ohtani, we got so much baseball here in California. Get out to California. Stay in Beverly Hills. There's a Waldorf Astoria there, Four Seasons, a Peninsula. So many beautiful hotels. And see Shohei Ohtani live in person. This is Blake LeVine. Look down below for the links and check out the art on SaatchiArt.com, SAATCHIART.com. Look under Blake, BLAKE, and say hey, it's Shohei, the home run hero, the Babe Ruth birthday, Joltin Joe DiMaggio. And remembering, you can be watching some of the best in 2025 and forever. Thanks so much for being here. A huge happy high five, and we'll see you later.